Welcome back to Ration Nerd, everybody. It's good to see you here on the channel. Today we are rocking out a single meal ration pack from Great Britain. This is Pindi Channa Alloo, which I have never had before, even in real life, so this ought to be pretty interesting. This ration is brought to you by my friend, who I am going to put a link to up here somewhere, right around in this area somewhere. I'm going to link him. He's a buddy of mine, and he sells stuff on eBay. He is the man with connections. He gets all kinds of cool stuff. But let's crack into this single meal ration pack and see what is for dinner. This ration was packed in 2022, so there's no reason why this shouldn't be absolutely fresh. This is a really big bag for a single meal. I'm thinking they use the same bag for the 24-hour as they do for the single meal. Looks like we have an accessory kit. We'll get into that here in a second. We have a mixed fruit snack. This is just like some baby food. And we have our main, the Pindi Channa Alloo. That's a 300-gram portion. It's pretty hefty. We have a fortified energy drink powder. This is apple flavor. We have some biscuits brown. Our flameless ration heater. Cookie and cream flavored bar. That's pretty awesome. We have another fortified energy drink powder. That again is apple flavor. Oh no, we have some strawberry jam. Oh, it's stuck to the inside of the package. Looks like that might have exploded a little bit. Yeah, it's leaking just a little bit, but we're going to give it a try anyway. You know, that happens. U.S. Postal Service beats stuff to death. So we'll get this out onto a tray. That's looking pretty good. Let's first start, before we get into this accessory pack, let's first start by getting our main heating up. That has a relatively small but thick heating pad in there. We'll see how this goes. And then we'll get that filled up to the fill line. This takes quite a bit more water than a US MRE. I'm hoping that FRH gets things nice and hot, especially considering that it's something I've not had before and I really don't know what to expect. I'd at least like it to be hot and nasty if it's going to be nasty. Get a rock or something out here. That's definitely starting to go in there. That FRH is definitely starting to talk to me. There we go. Now it's going. Alright, so while that's chugging away, let's get into this accessory pack. We have a pretty exceptional pack of butt wipe and or face wipe. I really do like the fact that they put a larger pack of just general purpose napkins in here. That's pretty awesome. We have an antibacterial wipe. We have a 3-in-1 instant coffee. That's what I'm talking about. And a 3-in-1 tea. I've never had one of these before. We have another antibacterial wipe. The really solid British spork. This thing is like a bucket on the end of a stick. It's crazy. It's extremely large. I mean, I have really big mitts, but that is enormous. Just crazy how big that is. Like, apparently you're supposed to eat really fast in Great Britain because that's an enormous spoon. But enough about that. Get these drinks made up. Now, I'm not a big fan of tea with cream in it, but I am going to give it a try. Why not? The awesome part about the 3-in-1s, they already have the cream and the sugar in there, along with the tea and the coffee. That's all right. And we're going to go with one of these and this fortified energy drink powder. And in my silliness, I realized that this is actually refreshing strawberry flavor. When I looked at the reverse of the package, the first thing it says is powder apple flavor, so I assumed it was apple flavored, but I was wrong. That strawberry smells pretty awesome. Alright, let's see what this spork can do. And of course, we have some chewing gum. So while we're waiting on the main to heat up, let's get out some biscuits brown. They smell like a wheat biscuit. They smell like a giant wheat thin. I've had a British ration before, a 24-hour, but it's been some time since I've had that. And the biscuits brown that I had, maybe they were different, or I'm just not remembering it correctly. They were mildly sweet. So these do not smell sweet at all. Let's try one of these on their own. These biscuits brown are really good. They have a lot of different grain flavors going on in there. Very hearty, not sweet. Ever so slightly salty. It's more like a whole grain cracker that's just a bit softer than a cracker. These are really good. I would absolutely love to try these with some cheese. Unfortunately, that's not to be in this ration, but we're going to check it out with this jam here in a second. I'm really hoping this jam didn't go bad, even though it sprung a leak. I've had this Andros jam in French rations, and it is really, really excellent jam. I have had the plum jam in an RCIR, and I tell you what, that plum jam was absolutely amazing. I just couldn't get enough of that stuff. So I'm hoping that this strawberry is much the same way. Probably going to save a few of these biscuits for the main in case it's saucy. Again, I really have no clue what I'm getting into. And that's certainly a lot of fun, at least for me. And thankfully, that jam is perfectly fine. Nothing wrong with it at all. Did get really sticky fingers though. So it is time to check out one of these antibacterial wipes. That's pretty large and in charge. And pretty decently strong. That's nice. Relatively moist. Got that sticky jam right off my fingers, as it should. It's nice they give you 2 of these in here. You can kind of clean up a little bit with this before you have your meal, and then if you're messy like I am, you can clean all the nastiness off of you afterwards. That's pretty awesome. Definitely going to go right in for one of these biscuits brown with this strawberry jam. That jam is incredible. You couldn't have a more natural strawberry flavor in a jam. It's sweet enough to definitely be considered sweet, but not overly sweet like a candy. And that really captures all the strawberry flavor without making it like without making it taste like candy. That's really good. That's one of the things I love about getting honey and jams in foreign rations. Something about the way that they make jams, it's amazing. Not overly sweet, really captures the flavor of the fruit. That's really good stuff. And because I know it's a British thing to have biscuits and tea, we'll give this tea a try, even though creamy tea is not my thing. Huh. Maybe I lied to you. Maybe it's because it's a powdered tea, but that is very mild, very creamy, almost not sweet. It's at a level where it's just sweet enough. That's actually really good. I'm really surprised by that. I'm not normally a tea with cream guy, but I could drink that all day. That's good stuff. And now, absolutely, got to get a sip of this 3-in-1 coffee. Thank you, Great Britain, for the coffee I'm about to receive. And my paycheck. Thank you, my paycheck, for the coffee I'm about to receive. You know, that's not a bad cup of coffee. If you are a coffee drinker at all, that's like right down the middle. It's not too strong. It's not very sweet. It's not very bitter. It's not very acidic. It's just right down the center of the lane. I like mine a little bit more bitter, a little stronger, or actually a lot stronger, but that's not bad. If you like coffee at all, you drink it. Not too shabby. Good job, Great Britain. And that strawberry drink. That really does just taste like strawberry candy. It's pretty cool. It's not overly artificial tasting, but it certainly doesn't taste like it's natural fruit flavor. That's pretty good. It's like an adult Kool-Aid, I would say. It's definitely strawberry. It's definitely artificial, but it's refreshing. It's pretty good. And while we're waiting, let's get this cookies and cream bar out onto the tray. Having had one of these before, I'm really looking forward to this. Oh, a little broken up, no problem. These things are extremely dark, like an Oreo cookie. Just for fun, while we're waiting, let's get some baby food. So, mixed fruit snack baby food. That's not what it says on there. It just says mixed fruit snack, but it really is. This is baby food. I'm not a big fan of putting baby food in rations, but you know, everybody's different. Get you a shot of that baby food there, and we'll give that a try. You certainly are forced to take a big mouthful of it out of that spoon. You know, this reminds you of exactly what it's shaped like. If you've seen those kids' squeeze pouches of different mixed fruit in the store, that's exactly what this is. Probably oxidized a bit because there's banana in here. There's an ever so slight hint of banana. It's not bad. It's not really something I would really enjoy. I think I would just kind of stuff this nozzle in my face and just slurp it up and be done with it. I certainly wouldn't bother with using a spoon. I mean, it's obviously not bad. I'm sitting here eating it. Would certainly be much easier to eat out of this little pouch here. That's pretty great. I can feel the heat radiating off of that FRH that far away from it. That's pretty great. Just going to move that biscuit out of the way so we can rescue this main out of here. So we can have some Pindi, Channa, Alloo together, which I have absolutely no clue what I'm getting into. And I'm not going to read the ingredients list just because it's a whole lot more fun to just kind of figure it out. Wow, that smells pretty amazing. Looks like I might have picked right. That really does make this whole room smell amazing. That smells great. Let's take a look at this. Obviously, we have a great deal of chickpeas. We see some small pieces of potato in there. So we have some really small onions in there. That looks good. So this is essentially potatoes, chickpeas, onions, seasoning, and sauce. A tomato-based sauce. Has quite a bit of curry smell coming off of it. We got curry and turmeric smell. It smells pretty amazing, to be honest with you. I'm looking forward to digging into this. So let me get a bite of that with some sauce. Grab a little onion on there. Take a look at that. Oh, that's really good. Has a little bit of oil in there. That really helps the flavor. If you like Indian food at all, you'd probably really like this. If you like chickpeas at all, you'd certainly like it. This is seasoned very well. It's mild. It could use a little bit of spicy seasoning. Like, I really wish there was a seasoning pack with this. Maybe not Tabasco sauce, but just some red pepper. It would really do with a little bit of salt and pepper, but I'm telling you what, even just the way it came out of that pack, it's pretty amazing. That sauce is great. I'm going to stick one of those biscuits brown in there to start getting saucy. I have a feeling that's going to be a really good bite. I'm going to let that soak up some of that sauce. We're going to bury him in there for a little while. Get in there and soak that up. This is really hearty. A really good, healthy chew. Like, it's just good food. I mean, this ought to be fun later, because eating this many chickpeas in one sitting, there's some part of my body that's going to be very vocal later. It's going to have a lot to say, and I'm not going to be able to tell it to stop. So this is kind of weird for me. Like, would you feed a soldier or something that was going to just make you loud, like make your back door loud? I imagine this is not a meal that you're going to eat right before you go on a stealthy mission. Not at all. Like, this is a I'm sitting around base meal, and if I'm flatulating all over everybody, it doesn't make much of a difference. But if I'm going to go sneak through behind enemy lines, this is not the meal I'm going to eat before I go and do that. Rescue that little piece of biscuit brown out of there. That multigrain biscuit goes really good with this sauce. I just wish there was something like a bread item, like even if it was a shelf-stable bread, to soak up this sauce on the bottom. So that's really good. And it's nice because those potatoes have just a little bit of texture to them. So they're perfectly cooked, but they're not overcooked to the point where they're just mushy. They do have some texture, and you can definitely differentiate the potatoes from the chickpeas. And that's really nice when you get a retort pouch that you actually have two different ingredients in it where they have different textures. I know that sounds silly, but there are some retort pouch meals that I've had that literally everything in the pouch is the same texture. Like beans and noodles and meat, it all just feels the same. And when you're chewing something, different textures and different levels of firmness make it more interesting. Unless you don't like chickpeas, or if you don't like curry and cumin, if you like chickpeas and those other spices, you'd really like this dish. There's absolutely nothing wrong with this. This is a good hearty meal. I'm going to have to take these biscuits brown that are all these small pieces and crunch them up and get in there and get the rest of that sauce. If anybody that's watching the channel has had this meal, chime in and let me know what you think. If you've had the Pindi Channa Alloo, what you think of the seasoning, what you think of the ingredients, the texture of the beans, all that stuff. And are you ghetto like me and just kind of smashed up some biscuits to get in there and get the rest of this sauce out of there? It's just really good. I can't help it. Those biscuits brown mixed up with that sauce really just has a whole nother dimension of flavor. Because all the different grains in those biscuits, it's a pretty cool combination. Highly recommended. I'm sad to see that main go. That sweet strawberry drink is a perfect follow-up to this chickpea and curry dish, this Pindi Alloo. That's a great follow-up drink to that. I'm going to get back to one of these biscuits before I get into that Oreo cookie bar. The combination of these biscuits brown and this excellent strawberry jam is absolutely crazy. I mean, I hate to say it, but this is literally like gourmet. It is time for this cookies and cream flavored bar. This is a lot like any other protein bar that's essentially made up of rice and soy crisps. Extremely dark like an Oreo cookie. This thing has a pretty decent flavor. Or at least the last one I had a really good flavor. Let's give that a try. I guess if we're going to have tea, should we be pinkies out? Nah, probably not. I think when we have coffee, we should be pinkies out, but more like that. Like, yes, coffee, bitches. So this cookies and cream bar is mildly sweet. It's satisfyingly chewy. It has a lot of similar flavors as an Oreo cookie, but certainly not as sweet. I think just about anybody that liked anything to do with an Oreo cookie could eat this and like it. It's really chewy, mildly sweet. That dark, deep chocolatey flavor that first hits you when you bite into an Oreo cookie, that's what this is going to do for you. Certainly easy to eat if you were on the move, but a great addition to this ration. Fun, easy to eat, and this thing tastes good. You know, once you've chewed this thing up quite a bit, it does have a little bit of a chalky finish, so just buyer beware about that. You know, it is really good on the front end. When you get to the very end of chewing it, it has a little bit of a chalky finish, and it's weird, but it just is what it is. And right before we check out that gum, we'll break out one of these tissues, just so we can say we did. So you can see what a tissue looks like. I know, because you're like, oh my god, Ration Nerd, I don't know what a tissue looks like. If you don't show me, I won't know what was in that little pack. Because I've never seen a small pack of tissues before. Well, there you go. It's a tissue. You can blow your nose with it. You can wipe your butt with it. This is where you can put a booger. There's all kinds of stuff you can do with these things. It's a tissue. And last but not least, I'm not going to forget it this time, we have some strong mint sugar-free gum with sweeteners. Got two little rectangular chiclets there. Let's give this a shot. Here comes a nice peppermint. Starts out pretty subtle, and then just like slaps you right in the taste buds. Pretty good. Knocks all the flavors out of your mouth. After eating something like that, you might need a little palate cleanser. I'm going to finish up these biscuits brown, and my coffee tea, and my strawberry stuff off camera. Thank you guys for joining me here on Ration Nerd. This was a single meal ration pack from Great Britain. This was Pindi Channa Alloo. This was a good ration. You should try to get one. You should hook up with my dude on eBay. His name's going to be in the description. But thank you guys for watching, and until next time, eat 'em up.